You might have a small business,
But you have big dreams.
dreams of helping people keep in touch, feel their best, feed their families,
Being a part of happy moments. Or making lifelong memories.
creating a legacy, and building homes for families in need.
Take your vision and bring it to life.
Go from starting up in a garage to selling out in hundreds of locations.
From playing to win, to winning billions of fans.
And from educating children living in poverty to changing the world.
And while you focus on the big picture, let us help you take care of the details.
Like removing bottlenecks in your operations,
Building a stronger team.
delighting your customers,
And giving you a bird's eye view into where your business is today.
and where it's headed tomorrow.
Let us help you make running your business simpler.
Visit sap.com/youcan to tell us your dreams for your perfect business.
It might come true sooner than you think.
Hi and welcome to today's presentation, an introduction to SAP Business One. My name is Richard Duffy and I'm the SAP Business One product evangelist with Leverage Technologies. You may have also seen some of my other videos that I've produced around SAP Business One, of course, as a result of me being part of the SAP Business One global team for 11 or so years. But anyway, what I'd like to do in today's presentation is I'm going to give you an overview of SAP Business One. And we are going to take the very latest information about SAP Business One. I'm going to give you a demonstration as we go through the presentation. And I'm going to give you that demonstration using the very latest version of SAP Business One, version 9.2. I'm going to show you two aspects of the solution. I'm going to show you the very latest web client technology, so you'll see the demonstration running in a web browser. We're also going to utilize SAP HANA, the very latest in-memory technology that helps you get even more visibility and turn that visibility or insight into action in your organization. So let's just quickly summarize what SAP Business One is, because for many of you who are watching this presentation, maybe you've never encountered SAP Business One before. So there's really four areas that SAP is focused on. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that SAP Business One has been designed for small and mid-sized businesses from the ground up. Many people think of SAP and they think of Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies. But many people don't know SAP actually started off as software for small and mid-sized enterprises just like yours. And there are more than 50,000 customers around the world who are today running an SAP Business One solution. And why do they do that? Because SAP Business One is complete. It really has all of the common business functions that a small or mid-sized enterprise would need, from accounting through to customer relationship management, functionality to manage your operations, your sales, marketing, service warehousing, and more. And it's all incorporated into one package that's easier to set up and use, gives you complete visibility and better control with help running your end-to-end business processes professionally. And of course, it's implemented by organizations like Leverage Technologies. We'll talk a little bit more about Leverage when we get to the end of today's presentation and I give you some thoughts on what you can do next. The other thing about SAP Business One is that it's innovative. You're going to see, using the web client, using the HANA technology, how we can deliver operational reporting through this advanced analysis so that your people can get access to business intelligence that's going to help support intelligent decision making. And not only are they going to have that functionality, but they're going to be able to get that everywhere via browser-based access and real-time mobile analytics using the very latest technology like Apple iPads or iPhones or whatever the case may be. The third thing to bear in mind, an SAP Business One solution being enterprise resource planning, it is fundamentally extensible. The SAP Business One platform is designed to help support your growth and change as an organization. There are more than 42 localizations, including Australian, and 27 languages are built in, including English. Of course, in Australia, we don't have our own language, although some people might think so. But those 27 languages are built in, and there are more than 400 industry-specific and horizontal solutions that are available for you from SAP partners. And our job at Leverage Technologies is to work with you to help you determine which of those is the right one to help you achieve your business goals. And we also have the people who can help you extend the solution out, utilizing the latest in technology such as REST APIs. And don't let that little bit of jargon freak you out. I'm going to explain what that is a little bit later. But this fundamentally allows you to use the very latest in web standards to integrate with your SAP Business One solution. And it uses a technology called Open Data, or OData for short. And of course, what do you want? You want a solution that's flexible. So there are multiple implementation options for you to choose from. You can put a server in your office and have your software running on that server, or you can deploy SAP Business One via the cloud, where you purchase the software, deploy it in the cloud on somebody else's hardware, or you can access the software on a low per user per month fee that is paid on a yearly basis. So the idea behind this is giving you a number of different options that require low investment and give you a solution that has a lower running cost or a low total cost of ownership. So think about the product. There are 4 components here. You have the core functionality. You have the SAP HANA in-memory database. We're giving you access to those cloud and mobile technologies. And importantly, we're giving you a solution that is easy and gives robust integration. So if you're trying to integrate between SAP Business One and another application, or you have multiple branches and you want to have those branches all operating on the same platform, or maybe you're running an application in your head office and you want something smaller for your branch offices, SAP Business One is a great fit. And of course, one of the most popular solutions is what used to be called the SAP Business Suite, SAP ECC7, SAP S4HANA. There's a number of different names for the product depending on which level you're at. But this is really the product which is in use in those Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 organizations. SAP Business One has pre-built integration packages available for you if your head office is running a solution like that from SAP. We're delivering a complete business solution stack. So I think it's important just to understand how all these pieces come together and how it all really builds, because you have to build on a strong foundation in order to make sure that as you are making these investments and you're looking to the future, that you are building on a solid foundation that is going to be there for you as you continue on. So of course, deployment flexibility on-premise or in the cloud. We have options for you with the database that you choose to use, either Microsoft SQL Server or the SAP HANA database. The Business One core provides all those standard business processes, and then there are 3 components in SAP Business One which provide that robust integration and collaboration: the SAP Business One Studio, the integration framework, and the service layer. Now, on top of that, we then have the partner and SAP solutions from SAP that allow you to collaborate with business networks like Concur or Ariba, solutions that allow you to have really rich analytics and reporting like SAP Lumira, and then solutions from, as I mentioned, those complementary solution partners who are building specific industry functionality for you to extend the application. So what does this do? It gives you a complete business application. Now, I'm not going to show you in the demo every single component in the demo that I'm going to give you very, very shortly. I'm just going to show you some of the basics and a little bit of an overview of the application so you get a feel for what SAP Business One is all about. But don't worry, at Leverage Technologies, we have a team of people who are available to help you understand what SAP Business One is all about. And not only that, we have a whole range of self-service offerings that enable you at a time that suits you to learn more about SAP Business One with videos, blogs, tech tips, a whole range of different things on our website at www.leveragebusinessone.com.au. But anyway, if you think about it, a lot of people say, well, hang on, I've heard of SAP, but I never really heard of, the different products that SAP have. I just heard of this big organization, and let's face it, SAP is one of the largest business software application companies in the world. So if you look at the way the market is segmented, when you talk about small and mid-sized businesses, then there's lower mid-sized enterprises, upper mid-sized enterprises, and large enterprises. Now, the thing that differentiates these to a certain extent is the size of the organization, but also the complexity of the business process. So, when you're thinking about this, what you need to do is contemplate that. And again, as I said, that's our job at Leverage, to help you identify which of these solutions is the right one. Solutions in the cloud, starting from SAP Business One to SAP Business by Design or SAP S/4HANA. And then, of course, on-premise, where you are running the software on your own servers, and we have an SAP Business One offering for that, SAP S/4HANA edition for SAP Business All-in-One, and SAP S/4HANA, the on-premise edition. So what does all this mean? Well, it basically means that you have options to grow into. However, when you're looking at SAP Business One, you are looking at an application that can allow you to start small on whichever one of these technologies you want, and then will have significant capability to grow and scale up and out as your business requirements grow and change. So important to understand that SAP Business One is part of a family of applications. And interestingly, SAP Business One, when you look at a big company like SAP, there are more SAP Business One users, companies, than any other product in the SAP ERP portfolio. So as I said, more than 50,000 companies around the world using an SAP Business One solution today. So it's pretty impressive from the growth when SAP Business One was launched back in 2003. When I certainly started with SAP, there's no correlation there between me working at SAP and the growth, but when SAP Business One launched, with 2,000 or 3,000 customers utilizing the solution in that first year, up to more than 50,000 today in 2016. It's pretty impressive growth. Now, what's driven that? What's driven that is the fact that there are all these localizations available. Now, I know you're probably focused specifically on Australia, but it's great to know that if you have operations in other countries, if you have subsidiaries, if you have affiliates operating in other countries, SAP Business One is available with localizations in these countries around the world. And we have a number of these languages where you can just go into SAP Business One, access the language, and bang, it's ready to go. All right, so important to understand that. And then, of course, we have a number of what we call non-localized countries, where that country uses a localization or a partner solution specific for SAP Business One. Take Thailand, for example. In Thailand, they either use the Singaporean localization or the Australian localization, depending on what the company requires. Okay, so suffice it to say that the localized functionality you need, there's a good chance that that's going to be there in SAP Business One. And of course, if there's not, we're going to talk to you about that and help you figure out how do you deliver on the business requirements that you have with an SAP Business One solution. That's our job at Leverage. So that core functionality, it's important to understand. I'm going to take you through and give you a little bit of a demonstration of this. Those business functions, the extension capabilities, important to note, there is easy Microsoft Office integration, and we're going to show you how some of that works. And we integrate products from another part of the SAP product family called SAP Business Objects, which give you reporting and analytics. And of course, the benefit is that there is universal code base for 42 localizations, all those localizations operating from one code base. So if there is a change that occurs to Australian legislation, let's say, for example, we introduce some kind of new reporting requirements or a new tax regime, God forbid, there is a good chance that the tax engines and the reporting engines in SAP Business One are going to be able to adapt to that very, very quickly and easily. So, I'm not going to go through this in infinite detail and go through step by step, but if you like, this is kind of like a beauty parade of the functionality, and I just wanted to touch on this before I launch into a demonstration and actually show you what SAP Business One looks like and how it works. So you can see that there is a rich set of functionality going across all of these different areas, okay, whether it's the financials capability, managing your sales operations, your service operations, managing your purchasing, inventory, and production. So no matter where your business gains its competitive advantage, maybe it's from your sales process, maybe it's from how effectively you do your purchasing, maybe it's from the way that you manage your inventory or some specific processes that you have in production, SAP Business One has the key functionality you need to be able to help you address those requirements. So, before I go into this detail about the embedded analytic applications, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch in and give you a demonstration of SAP Business One. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how the application works, what it looks like if you've never seen it before. And what I'm going to do is I am doing this session from a Macintosh. So I'm going to use Firefox, my web browser on the Mac, and I'm going to spin up the SAP Business One web client, and we're going to take you through a little bit of an overview of SAP Business One using that web client before I come back and we talk a little bit more about some of these specific areas, which of course you can jump to at any time in this video. So let's get going with the demonstration. So welcome to our SAP Business One demo. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through SAP Business One version 9.2 at a fairly high level because we have lots of different videos that drill down into the individual functional areas of SAP Business One for you on our YouTube channel and of course here on the Leverage Business One website, which is set up and dedicated specifically to be focused on SAP Business One. I'm going to use part of the 9.2 release, which is the new HTML5 web client for SAP Business One to do part of the demonstration. And then I'm going to switch across and show you some of the other components using a standard client for SAP Business One. So you give you an understanding that there are a couple of different ways that you can access SAP Business One, depending on the deployment mechanism that works for you. So in order to access the cloud version, it's very, very simple. I just put in the URL for our cloud version. And I always begin with HTTPS because we're securing this with what's called Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure mode. And that makes sure that every piece of information which goes between your computer and the server is encrypted and cannot be captured and, if you like, sniffed is the technology term they use to describe the process because it's all been encrypted with a key that's only between your computer and the server. So all I have to do is I put in the URL. Now in this particular case we have SAP Business One set up on one of our cloud servers and it's at sboweb.leveragecloudtech.com.au/dispatcher. Now the system knows I've used the server before, so it's just reminding me, hey, you're logged out. Do you want to log in again? So I'll say, yes, I do. And it's just reminding me that any data that I had on this page before is going to be lost. So that's okay. I'm going to say leave page, and it brings me into this screen. This is where I basically go ahead and I choose which SAP Business One company I want to access and which user I am that I'm accessing that company as. Now, again, remember, the key to SAP Business One is it's full multi-company and supports the legal requirements of a whole range of different geographies around the world. So, for the purposes of our demonstration, I'm using our Australian company system, and I'm using a standard set of demonstration data. So I'm going to log on as a user called manager, and then I'm going to put in my password. And what this is going to do, when I click log on, it's going to check my parameters. It's going to look and see, okay, this user, what access do they have? And I am the super user. So the super user basically has access to every single piece of functionality. What does that mean? That basically means that if I'm showing you some things on SAP Business One and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, gee, I'm not necessarily sure I'd want everybody having access to that. No problem, you've got total control over that in the security in the system. So the first thing to remember about SAP Business One is that it is a complete solution. Remember, we talked about the fact that it has a full set of functionality that meets the requirements of most small and mid-sized enterprises, and you'll see that functionality is broken up here into these modules. Now, the easiest way to access all of this is by defining what is your role? What do you do inside the company? And then we set up this cockpit area according to your role. So not only can you see certain processes that you run on a regular basis represented here with a graphical flow, you can see what are the updates that you've done recently. You can get a snapshot of what are some of the key performance indicators, your messages and alerts that have come through the system, and of course here I have another one of my KPIs which is showing me my accounts receivable balance and then the value of all my open orders here. So this cockpit is really being tailored specifically to show the information that I want to see. Now we're running on SAP HANA, so there's a range of additional features that are available for me inside the SAP Business One user interface, but I'll talk a little bit about those in a minute. So you can see when we say complete, we really mean it. You have access to your financials functionality where you set up your chart of accounts, you manage your journal entries, all of those fundamental transactions which occur inside the system. And of course, full fixed assets capability inside SAP Business One. The ability to set up and manage budgets and then track all of your transactions against those budgets. The ability to set up really flexible cost accounting with multiple cost centers and dimensions and what we call distribution rules that will automatically look at how your cost centers are set up and distribute the transactions on the basis of the percentages that you have set up. So for example, I might enter a transaction for rent. I might want that transaction split across 4 different cost centers, 50% to one, 25% to another, 10% to another, and 15% to another. So SAP Business One looks at those distribution rules and makes those transactions automatically for me. Then of course, I have my financial reporting where I can print my profit and loss, my balance sheet, all of those standard reports that you would expect to find. So my accounting reports, my aging reports as well that drill down into my customer receivables and my supplier or accounts payable liabilities aging. Then as we drill down, you'll see we also have our sales functionality, purchasing, and so on. Now, again, as I said, remember detailed demonstrations of each of these different areas on the Leverage YouTube channel. So I'm not going to take you through each single one. I can make a demonstration run for 3 or 4 hours or 3 or 4 days. But I'm not going to submit you to that. This is going to be a very, very quick high-level demo, so we won't drill down into each one of those. What I am going to do, though, is I am going to show you a key sales process that I have mapped out here in my dashboard. So I'll just minimize that down. And you'll see I've got my sales process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the process work on the assumption that right now I'm fulfilling the role of a salesperson. So in our sales process, we've defined that it starts off with a sales quotation. We then go to a sales order. That delivery, or that sales order then gets turned into a delivery. And then once the product is delivered to the customer, an accounts receivable invoice is generated. All things being equal, you then have incoming payments which pay for that accounts receivable invoice. But of course, you may need to process a return, or you may need to process credit notes. So from this one mapped out sales process that I have here, I'm able to jump to any one of those areas really, really quickly. In addition, I can link out to my customer information. I can go and run what we call our Dunning Wizard, which allows me to produce automated documents which then get sent out to customers, reminding them of the fact that they have outstanding balances and potentially applying finance charges for them as well. And then of course I can go here into my sales reports. Now you'll see under each one of these documents or each one of these steps in the sales process, there's this little blue arrow. What that allows me to do is if there are multiple options there, for example, under my sales reports, it allows me to go here and choose them. So I can get an open items list, I can get my sales analysis, I could do a back order report, I can print a stock status report and so on. Now one of the things that we can do for you at Leverage is that during the implementation we can customize all of this for you, or we can train people inside your organization so they have the capability to do that themselves. Again, it's really a matter of determining what's going to work best for you. So let's go here and let's look at our sales quotation. So what do I want to do? Well, if I'm looking at my sales quotation, and let me just close down these reports. If I'm looking at my sales quotation, you can see I have all these reports that I'm able to print out that are related to the sales quotation. But in this particular case, I'm not going to print a report. I'm just going to go and click on the sales quotation, and you'll see it opens up the sales quotation screen for me. I'm going to look up my customer and see how fast and responsive the system is. That's because the software has been optimized to make sure that you get a really responsive experience and your users aren't sitting there waiting for things to happen. Every one of these screens can be customized. So for example, I've decided every time I want somebody when they're looking at a list of all my customers, I want them to get a reminder of what the balance is. So if it's over a certain amount, I might want a little mental tickler for them that says, hey, you might want to go and drill down and sort out what's happening with their accounts receivable balance. But any one of these screens I'm able to customize. We'll talk about that in a little bit, because remember when we said not only was SAP Business One complete, but it's also flexible. So we'll talk about that flexibility. So I'm going to choose my customer, and in this case, it's MaxiTech. Now, this shows me all of this key information about MaxiTech. So here's my customer. I've got a contact person here, and I can have, of course, multiple contact people at that particular customer. In this case, it's Amanda Costner who's contacted me and has requested this quotation. So I have now got that information, and then I can put in my posting date. So what is the date where I want this transaction to be posted? How long is it valid for? Right, and I've said my quotations are always valid for 30 days. And then here is my document date. So these dates can all be different. So again, that's what we talk about when we talk about that flexibility. We don't tell you how to run your business. You tell us what it is that you do in your business, and we configure the software so that it meets that. Now, of course, we're going to give you advice on some best practices, because with the hundreds of SAP Business One implementations under our belt, obviously we've picked up some good ideas around what's the best way to use the software. So we're going to share those with you. But anyway, now I can just go in here and I can start choosing my products. So I can use a barcode reader and scan a product code on a barcode or in a catalog, or I can just go in here into my lookup list and select the product. So in this case, I've got a JB Office Print 1420, and there it is. That's the description. Now, if the customer says, well, I want you to quote me for 10 of them, no problem. I just put in the quantity of 10, and then there is my unit price. Now, Business One has the capability to do quantity-based pricing. So if I'd set up a special price for this customer, that if they bought more than 5, maybe they get a 10% discount, that rule would automatically kick in. Now, the great thing about this is, hidden underneath many of these fields in SAP Business One is you have the ability to go in and you can press Control Tab. And what that does is that unlocks a whole range of additional pieces of functionality for you that gives you additional information. So in this particular instance, on the quantity field, when I press Control Tab, the function for that is to manage batch and serial numbered items. And you can see down the bottom of our status bar, it's just reminding me, hey, batch and serial numbers aren't managed for this item, so that's fine. If I'm looking at the item price, and again I press Control Tab, what do I get? It now shows me all the times in the past, or actually in this particular instance, the last 10 times that this customer has transacted with me on these kinds of documents. And then I can see what did they pay for that product. So if the customer's saying, hey, last time I bought this, you actually sold them to me for $650. Well, I can look on here and I can say, no, actually, sorry. The last 10 times that we transacted with you on this product, it's always been $750. All right. So, great thing here is, of course, if I have the flexibility, if I have the permissions to do it, I can go in here and I can override the price. I can go in here and I can apply a discount. So I can say I'm going to give them a 10% discount. Now, Business One incorporates a whole alerting and workflow process. So you can set the system up so that a particular user, if they try and put through a discount that's above a certain amount, or the margin that you're going to make on the product is below a certain amount, then it can put the transaction on hold and send a workflow off, automatically advising the appropriate person that they need to approve this particular transaction. All right, so again, the concept here is to make sure that you can focus on running your business. You know, you don't have to be spending all this time checking and managing all of these transactions, because you define the rules and the system monitors those rules. So Business One almost becomes an employee that doesn't ever take time off. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year if you want. All right? So anyway, there's more information on this screen that I can't currently see. So what I can do is I can just resize this screen out. All right, and now I can see here's all these additional fields. Now, if I click down here, I also have the ability to scroll backwards and forwards between those fields as well. So you can see there is a lot of information that's available to me inside the user interface. And of course, I have the ability to display this in a different view. This is in a grid, okay, so it's one line after another, almost like a spreadsheet. Well, the beauty of SAP Business One is that if I want to, I'm able to go ahead and view this information in with each line being shown to me in a separate form. All right, so again, that concept of flexibility. So I go in and I'll now add my next product. So in this case, I also want some Office Print 1111s. And you'll notice there that it's also showing you when I do that lookup, maybe you pick that up, but when I do the lookup, it's actually showing me what my current level is that I have available and in stock. Now, flexibility, customization. You can go and change this yourself. So you'll see there's other columns that are available for you. Now, if you say, well, look, you know what? I actually want to see some additional information here, and you have the rights to do it. What you're able to do, you can go here into your form settings, and then what you're seeing now is all of the information that's on that form. So you see you've got your item number, your item description, your in-stock level. Now, I've decided I don't want to see the checking rule anymore. All right, so I'm going to untick that and remove that, so it's not displayed anymore. But I might say, you know what I want? I want to add another field here, and here is all the fields that are available for me. So let's say, for example, I might want to see so much data that's available to me to choose from, including, by the way, all these user-definable properties that you can utilize for showing additional fields, additional information about these products. But I might say, you know what, I actually want to see in here, what is my sales unit of measure? So I simply choose that. I go in here and I'll say, this is going to be my field called UOM, unit of measure. I want it to be visible. Okay, so I simply tick that box. I want it to be displayed, so that box stays ticked. And then I go here and I say update. You'll see I get a little message telling me that that operation was completed successfully, so that's good. So I then say OK, and then the next time I open up that screen, I'll close it down again. Let's pop it open one more time. What do I now see? If I scroll across here, there you have your unit of measure column is available for you. Now, some of these products, I'm maintaining multiple units of measure. I might sell them in eaches, 6-packs, cartons, pallets, with all the different rules set up to say, you know, a carton is made up of 20 eaches, a pallet is made up of 20 cartons. So all of that functionality, again, Business One, complete, that functionality is there and it's available for you. But in this case, I'm just going to hit cancel. So they're my products that I want in my quotation. Very, very simple. I go here and I now say add. And my quotation is now there. So then the next step I could go to is I could go in and create a sales order. And then when I create a sales order, I create the sales order from the quotation. Or you know what? I can go here and just select that quotation that I created. There it is. And here I say copy to, I want to copy it to a sales order. Now let's say, for example, the customer says, yep, I'm going to come in and pick it up. Matter of fact, my delivery driver is just around the corner. Can you get it ready for them and can they pick it up from the warehouse? No problem. I might then just want to go straight to an accounts receivable invoice. So I don't have to go through each one of these steps. It's a matter of how you define your process to work. But in this case, I'm going to say we're going to copy it to a sales order. And you'll now see in a second that has now popped open our sales order. There's our products in the sales order. There's my quantity again. Once again, I don't manage serial numbers or batch numbers on this product, but I can go in and I can start drilling down and looking at additional information. Anywhere in SAP Business One you see what we call this golden arrow, you can drill down to the underlying information. So if I want to see everything about this particular product, for example, let's say the customer says, well, can you tell me, do you get very many service calls on that particular product? Well, you can call up the item and then you can come in here and you are able to go and view against that item. You can see all of this additional information. What are the activities against that item? And I can go ahead and say, look, I might need to go and put in a purchase order for this product. Let's say, for example, I've got a special price from my supplier, but I have to tie the sales order to the purchase order. Again, SAP Business One supports that information for me. Or I might just want to go here and say, well, show me what's my stock status. So I can see, here is my stock status. I've got 1,053 in stock, 5 are committed, 1,048 are available, but I'm even able to go in here and I can look at my available to promise, which is what I'm seeing here, or I can just get a normal view. And so, you know, the available to promise will then allow me to run additional processes like specifying a date and saying, well, what do I actually have that I can promise for delivery on a specific date? Again, completeness of functionality. So that's that drill down. And then of course, at any point in time, I'm able to also drill down and I can look at the customer. So when I'm looking at the customer right now, here it is. Here's my customer, MaxiTech. Still got the sales order open in the background there, but I'm able to view all this information. Now here's a really nice thing in SAP Business One that we like to call the magic boxes. What you can do is you can click on these fields, for example, like the account balance, and you're able to take this field and you can drag it and drop it down into one of these 4 boxes down the bottom. So what does that mean? That means every time you are calling up a customer, whatever the value is that's sitting inside your account balance, all right, will show down here in this area of the screen. And we've got a separate video which runs through that in detail in our SAP Business One Tech Tips. So I'd encourage you to go ahead and take a look at some of those as well. But you can see for this customer, I've actually got 6 opportunities that are open. Why is this important? Because SAP Business One incorporates customer relationship management. You don't see a screen here or a function called CRM. Why? Because customer relationship management is built in throughout the entire system. So as you're working through, it's just a given. For example, I can right click here and I can see all of the information about this business partner. Okay, special prices, history of the accounts receivable follow-ups, or I can go in here and you'll see it says you can also view related service calls, view related activities, view related opportunities, and so on. So if I say view related opportunities, it now brings up a list of all the sales opportunities that I have open with this customer. So hopefully you're getting a bit of a feel for the fact that SAP Business One is very rich in terms of the functionality that's available. So that means that no matter what the business scenario is that you are trying to manage, there's a very strong chance that SAP Business One is going to help you do that. Part of the reason why there are 50,000 companies around the world, just like you, who are running their business today on SAP Business One. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of there. I'm now back to my sales order. So that's all good, and you'll see it's actually telling me, hey, this sales order is based on sales quotation 371. So I now add this sales order. Now it's telling me, Richard, you've got a problem. The delivery date is missing. And that's fine. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to specify that the delivery date is today's date, the 5th of February. Now I put that delivery date in here. I can say add. The system goes ahead and processes that. Now it's just saying, hey, do you want to go in and update each one of these lines with this new delivery date? Because guess what? You can set different delivery dates on each line. Okay, so I'll say, yeah, but you know what? That's the way I want this to work going forward. So I can say, remember my answer and don't show the message again. So I'll just say yes. So from now on, anytime I do this, it's going to automatically update that delivery date for me. So in the background, it's just sitting, it's going through and it's setting the delivery dates for each one of those lines. So that's now done. So what's the next step in our process? Let's close out of here and let's close out of our sales quotation. The next step might be to create a delivery. Well, in this case, the customers come in to pick up the product. So I'm just going to go straight to an accounts receivable invoice. So I can choose accounts receivable invoice. I pick my customer, so it's MaxiTech, and hey, it's just warning me that MaxiTech have exceeded their credit limit by this amount. Do you want to continue? 2 choices here. We can set the system up so you can just say, yes, I've been notified, and that's fine. We can set it up so it triggers a workflow and puts the transaction on hold. So it stops people from violating those business rules that you specified. But in this case, we're all good. So it's an accounts receivable invoice. So now, remember in the previous one I said copy to. So I copied the sales quotation to a sales order. In this case, I'm already in the accounts receivable invoice. So I need to copy this from my sales order. So I go here and say copy from sales orders. Shows me a list of all the sales orders, and there's the one that I've created today. So I select that. It's asking me, hey, when you pull this information in, what do you want to use with the exchange rates? Because SAP Business One is fully multi-currency. Okay, so you can handle different exchange rates on different days. Now, I could be in a situation where the exchange rate changed between the time that I created the sales quote or the sales order and today. So it's just giving me that flexibility. I'm going to say that's fine. Just leave everything as it is off the base document, and then I'll say finish. So now it's brought it in. We're good to go. That's all the information that I need. So now all I do is I hit add, and then the system goes ahead and processes that transaction. So let's do that right now. Important point to note, all those other transactions I did had absolutely no impact on the system from a financial accounting perspective. Okay, putting in a sales quotation, putting in the sales order. But now, once I create an accounts receivable invoice, this is where my general ledger is all going to be updated. So it's just saying, hey, from this point onwards, if you add this document, you cannot change it. Okay, you have to put through a credit adjustment or a credit note or whatever the case may be. So I'll just say yes, that's all good. The system will then rattle away, process that transaction, and that's now been done. My operation is completed successfully, and my sales transaction has gone through. So if I now look at that last accounts receivable invoice, you'll see it was based on sales quotation 371, which was then turned into sales order 370. And then I can go in here into my accounting tab, and I can see the information about how that was posted through to the general ledger. So there it is, there's my journal remark, and I'm able to go in and I can right click and I can see a whole range of additional information, including I'm able to go in here and view the journal entries that were created as part of this transaction. So you can see, there it is, okay? We debited our accounts receivable account, our sales revenue was credited, our raw materials was credited, our finished goods was debited, and we're ready to rock and roll. The transaction has gone through nice and smoothly. All right, so again, you've got the ability to do whatever you need to. Oh, by the way, let's say you realize something wasn't quite right there. When I'm right-clicking on that, and I'm looking at that information, and I am looking at that journal entry, what I can do, when I'm in that journal entry, I can right-click on here as well, and I can go in here and I can say new activity, and then I can record notes against that particular line in the journal entry. So again, that functionality, that CRM capability, that ability to track activities and record notes extends right throughout all of the modules in SAP Business One. But in this case, I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to close that down. So my transaction's good to go. So I can right click on here, and then I'm able to drill down and look at the base documents and so on. Or maybe I just want to go ahead and print out my document. So I can go in here and I can say preview and print. So it will now generate a preview of the invoice for me. And there it is, there's my invoice all ready to go. Now, this is a very standard looking invoice, nothing particularly spectacular about it. But of course, we have the SAP Crystal Reports functionality built into SAP Business One. So you can customize, or we can customize for you, the look and the feel of all of these documents, adding logos, making them graphically rich, so they can be as simple as you want, or as graphically rich as you want. All right, so there's my transaction. I can now go ahead and hit the print button and have that print out for me. So again, don't forget everything I'm doing right now, I'm doing from inside the web browser. Right, I did not have to install any software on my machine. I'm ready to go. So let's now close that transaction down. So that's my accounts receivable invoices done. Now, I go in here and I say refresh my cockpit. And now that I have created a transaction, a sales transaction for this fiscal year, my accounts receivable value has increased. Okay, so that's an example of how these cockpits get instantaneously updated. And there is my new accounts receivable invoice and my sales order. So those are the most recent documents that I created. So again, one click on that transaction there, and you'll see it drills me down, and there is that accounts receivable invoice. That's just an example of a very simple transaction. Now, I did jump all over the place and explain a couple of other things for you, Sometimes that can get a little bit confusing. People go, Richard, hang on. Does that mean I have to do all those different things just to put in a simple accounts receivable invoice? And the answer to that, of course, is no. So let me show you how quick and easy the same thing can be. So I go in here, I choose that I want to do a sales order, I pick my customer, again, MaxiTech, I pick my products, my Office Print 1420, and they wanted 10 of those, so we'll say 10, and then my next product, my Office Print 1111, there was one of those, that's all good, so I then say add. Again, my delivery date's missing. I always tend to forget the delivery dates, but fortunately Business One is looking out for me and making sure I don't make any silly mistakes. So that's now in there. I say add. My sales order is in. I bring up that sales order and now I'll say copy to accounts receivable invoice. Again, got my credit limit warning. There's my accounts receivable invoice. I'll just say add. And I go ahead and my transaction has now been completed. So exactly the same transaction, just very, very quick, going from step to step to step without all the additional explanation. So that's all I wanted to show you in the demonstration, is just to give you a little bit of an understanding of the look and feel of SAP Business One. In the page that you use to access this demonstration, you're also going to find some links to additional videos. So I would encourage you to go and take a look at those videos, or of course, remember, you can reach out to any one of the Leverage team. So let's continue on with the rest of our webinar. So welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed the demonstration and it's given you a little bit of a taste for how SAP Business One looks and the rich functionality that's embedded in the solution. Let's talk about some of those additional areas that are available to you as an SAP Business One user. For example, it's great that you can get all that information into the system. Let's face it, that's what these applications are very, very good for doing. They do a great job of collecting and centralizing all that information. But what good is information unless you can report on it effectively and use that data to make better decisions? So SAP Business One has embedded analytic applications in the solution. For example, all the forms that I showed you, I pointed out to you, the SAP Crystal Reports forms, the dashboards that are delivered out of the box with the solution, all built on SAP Crystal dashboarding technology, which is the industry-leading functionality. In fact, many other ERP vendors actually utilize and they license that functionality from SAP and embed it into their applications. So there's a number of these different products that are available for you. We'll take you through some of that in another session that we have on our website, explaining each one of these different business intelligence and analytics applications. Now, don't forget to keep your eyes open on our video page on leveragebusinessone.com.au, because we've got different demonstrations of each one of these functional areas. But, you know, suffice it to say, there are tools that address different business requirements. If you need to quickly build formatted reports, then it's SAP Crystal Reports embedded with SAP Business One. If you need to monitor business performance and look at KPIs, then SAP Crystal dashboards are great for that. If you need to give people the ability to do their own on-the-fly or ad hoc analytics, and people love working with Microsoft Excel, then the interactive analytics that comes as part of SAP Business One for HANA is perfect for that. The pervasive analytics allows you to take that one step further and design dashboards and build your own KPIs or key performance indicators for SAP Business One forms. Embed those in the cockpit that I demonstrated to you, or embed them in all kinds of different Business One forms. Okay, and also give you the ability to create what we call extreme applications, like the forecasting tools, like the cash flow management tools, the available to promise, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, SAP Lumira, which is really designed to help you use the data that's in SAP Business One and use that to tell a story that you then can make decisions based on what that data is telling you. Okay, so if you're in a position where you need to take that data, make recommendations to the organization as to what are the business decisions that should be made, then SAP Lumira is a great starting point. And the good news is you can get started with SAP Lumira today at no cost. Even if you're not using SAP Business One, I would encourage you to go and visit saplumira.com and take a look at that application. It really is quite spectacular. Complementary solutions, again, extending the application out. These solutions are available for all kinds of different industries, from automotive to high-tech, industrial machinery and components to supply chain management, professional services to pharmaceuticals. And then, of course, not only do we have these industry solutions, but there are horizontal extensions, if you like, that take the core functionality of SAP Business One and enhance it to deliver additional productivity, to build more flexible accounting processes if you have a need for a level of complexity in your organization, in your business processes, payment engines, enhancements to the customer relationship management, and so on. And then the important thing to remember is, as an SAP Business One customer, you constantly are receiving, assuming you're current on your maintenance, you're constantly receiving updates. And the very latest version that I've been demonstrating to you today is SAP Business One 9.2 and 9.2 version for SAP HANA. Now, what is all this about? This is about having a roadmap that identifies, based on feedback from customers just like you, what are the important things that we need to do. And then we build these into buckets of focus areas. So, for example, browser access, using the cloud to accelerate your deployments, using the cloud to accelerate your return on investment, extending and evolving to take advantage of these new technologies, and above and beyond everything else, keeping the entire SAP Business One experience simple. So it's simple to learn, simple to use, and simple to own, and the cost of ownership is kept low. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you. We're almost there. A lot of information to cover in this presentation, and I appreciate you bearing with me because I think it's important to understand it's not just about the product. It's not just about, the features and functionality, but it's also about the things that wrap around that. Things like the comprehensive lifecycle management that you get with SAP Business One with the remote support platform. What does this do? This gives us the ability to run proactive health checks, to run healing tasks. So if there's something that's not quite right in the system, we can automate the process of fixing that. Doing your backups for you, generating system status reports, scheduling those backups, running proactive health checks, guiding your upgrade processes and constantly checking at any point in time that your system is ready to upgrade. And should something go wrong, because this is software and things occasionally do go wrong, we have the ability as your partner to be able to utilize the remote support platform to work together with you and with SAP to deliver quick, easy resolutions to any of these issues. Key benefit of all of this is it really reduces your total cost of ownership. We automate and centralize the maintenance, so you can spend your time focused on running your business, not running the software. Mobile solutions, again, I encourage you, go ahead and download some of these applications if you're running an Android device or if you're running an iOS device like an iPad or an iPhone. These applications are available today on Google Play or on the Apple App Store. And we're more than happy to provide you a link where you can plug that application into one of our demo servers, or of course you can use the built-in demo servers that SAP make available for you to be able to try the functionality here. And what do these mobile applications do? They really give you a subset of functionality with screens and forms that are redesigned to take advantage of the different sizes and the different kinds of real estate that these mobile solutions have for you. So again, as I said, other demonstrations talking about these things, I encourage you to go ahead and take a look at the applications. Let's talk quickly about SAP HANA. Those of you who know me know that I could actually talk for hours about SAP HANA and what SAP HANA does. It's really a case of this new technology, and SAP HANA is really about database technology that allows you to store all of your data in memory so it can be accessed, reported on, sorted, tabulated much faster than traditional processes where it was all stored on a hard disk and then you are constantly retrieving the data from that hard disk. So what does SAP HANA in-memory technology give you? It gives you really three things. It gives you smarter, faster, and simpler access. Smarter, real-time visibility into your business so you can make better decisions. Deeper insights into what your customer trends are so you can identify what your customers' needs and wants are. Getting the ability to work with big data. If you have large sets of data, large amounts of history, large blocks of transactions that you need to pass through very quickly to determine those trends and identify what are the options or opportunities for change inside your business model. Very good for that. And again, of course, doing all of these things faster. Immediate analysis of data in seconds instead of hours, or sometimes for some customers, they've gone from days to run their analytical processes down to seconds or minutes. Faster execution when you're adjusting to changes in the market. To a certain extent, you're only as good as how quickly you can adapt to change. SAP HANA is really focused on doing that. And it's simpler. It really is designed so that you can take all of these different sources of data, simplify them, and streamline your IT landscape and have a single system for doing your analytics and your transactions. What does that basically give you? You don't then have to have multiple systems, one for doing your data inquiries and reporting, another one for doing your transaction, what used to be called OLTP, or online transaction processing. Then you had another system for doing OLAP, online analytical processing. With SAP HANA, that's all combined into one system. So that drives down the total cost of ownership. And of course, it's user-friendly and accessible on any device. And pretty much when I say any device, I say every device. Well, can you access it on your television? Well, funnily enough, you can if your TV has a web browser, because a lot of that functionality is browser-based, but it's probably taking it a little bit too far. Although I have done demonstrations of SAP Business One running on a television, running on an Xbox, running on these new devices as they come out. It's kind of fun. So a couple of things we're going to talk to you about, assuming you'd like to take the next step and have a deeper conversation about SAP Business One and how it can help you achieve your goals. We're going to talk to you about the different applications that are available, the different database options, the different SAP HANA options. So, you have SAP Business One Analytics powered by SAP HANA, where your transactions run on SQL Server and you pull the data across into SAP HANA for doing your analytics. But by far and away, most of our clients these days are going for SAP Business One version for SAP HANA, where all of these are combined, as I said, all on a single server and giving you all of this additional functionality and access to those extreme apps for available to promise, cash flow forecasting and intelligent forecasting with those embedded real-time analytics. So we're going to talk to you about those two different offerings, but by far and away, as I said, the majority of our customers are going for the full SAP Business One on HANA to give them access to both of those components on the one server. Now there's a bunch of additional videos that are available for you that you can go and see each of these extreme apps, like the cash flow forecast, like available to promise, pervasive analytics. SAP have put some together, but of course, we have built a lot of these videos ourselves because, let's be honest, you really want to see the company that's demonstrating the software being the same company that's going to do the implementation. Let's face it, if the company cannot demonstrate the software, how can they then effectively implement? And that's why we pride ourselves at Leverage Technologies on the fact that all of our account managers or salespeople, if you will, all do our own demonstrations. We don't bring in separate pre-sales people to do the demos. But again, all these videos are available for you on the Leverage YouTube channel, which is at www.youtube.com/leveragetech. Again, I'm going to show you some of those resources available at the end of the session. So, in summary, really SAP Business One is about helping you get access to the business software you need the way you need it. And one of the ways we do that, of course, is with the cloud-based SAP Business One or SAP Business One Cloud. You can rely on the full proven functionality of the SAP Business One application that I've been talking with you about. In the cloud, hosted and maintained in secure world-class data centers by Leverage Technologies, by SAP, or you may choose to do that yourself. You can start small with a single user and scale up as your business grows and your needs change. Right? There are a number of these organizations that are providing infrastructure for implementing and supporting SAP Business One Cloud all around the world. Why do we talk about these? Just goes to show you the kinds of organizations who are making those commitments to building the infrastructures to run SAP Business One Cloud. They have access to this cloud control center as we do at Leverage, and this helps us manage the entire system so that we can build what's called multi-tenanted deployments. That's where we have a really large server environment and we can put multiple customers on that server environment, all secure with the data completely segregated from each other, but all just taking advantage of a slice of that computing power. What does that mean to you? It means you get access to all this functionality, all this power at a fraction of the cost of going out and investing in that yourself. Let's talk briefly about integration capabilities. Because I think this is one of those things that's very important, is how do you do integration between SAP and other applications, integration between your subsidiaries. We have a number of these different solutions that are available for you, doing intercompany integration as well. I'm not going to go into these in a huge amount of detail in today's presentation because we do have separate presentations on this subject. But suffice it to say that what Business One delivers out of the box is integration across the entire SAP Business One family and across the entire SAP product family. So no matter what your deployment looks like, if you have a headquarters running Business Suite, different sites running SAP all-in-one, different subsidiaries or franchises, for example, running SAP Business One, we provide that SAP Business One integration for SAP NetWeaver. If you're running SAP Business One in different offices all around the world with different legal requirements and you wish to do intercompany transactions and do consolidated reporting, then the intercompany integration solution for SAP Business One is available for you. Very important, and this is where we're going to kind of wrap up. Once you've made the decision to deploy a solution, you need to make sure that you've got really strong maintenance and support services. And that's what we focus on at Leverage Technologies. That is our responsibility as a partner, to work with you and SAP to ensure that you get access to this innovation and continuous improvement to the software that is built by SAP. We get knowledge transfer from SAP to the Leverage Technologies tech team. And then we take that knowledge and we push that out to you through things like Tech Tips, our monthly webinars, and so on. We've got one coming up very, very shortly, as a matter of fact, for all of our customers talking about SAP Business One 9.2. And then, of course, if there are problems, that problem resolution's delivered by our team at Leverage Technologies, but backed up by SAP. So we have access to complete problem resolution with 24/7 handling of messages when we escalate them to SAP, because they have teams all around the world working on this to help us make sure that you have a very pleasant and trouble-free implementation of SAP Business One. So as I said, summary time. SAP Business One. There's a good chance that you might be talking to some other vendors about their solutions. And unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation that runs around in our industry. So let's set the record straight. SAP Business One is a core component of SAP's product strategy. It has been proven by more than 50,000 customers all around the world. It is a global solution, and of course, we have a local focus in Australia through partners such as ourselves, Leverage Technologies, with the Australian localization. We offer affordable and flexible deployments, remember, both cloud and on-premise, and we enable companies to operate in a worldwide fashion with this wide and deep integration capability. It's a perfect fit for any of your affiliates. If you're a large enterprise company watching this presentation and you're looking for what's called a two-tier deployment, the bigger system in head office and a smaller system in your smaller subsidiaries, SAP Business One is a great fit for that, with more than 360 large enterprises running SAP Business One in more than 2,300 affiliates around the world. And of course, it's fully future-proof and has a solid roadmap where we adopt new requirements that you have as a customer. We give you access to new technologies and industry trends as they come about. So what do you do next? Well, we've put together a selection of these resources for you that you can access. There's the Leverage Technologies Business One dedicated website at leveragebusinessone.com.au. There's a number of SAP Business One demo videos that go in a little bit more detail into each one of these functional areas, and you can find those at this URL. I won't read it out to you, but if you just search for Leverage Business One demo videos, you'll find it, or of course you can utilize this URL. Our YouTube channel at youtube.com/leveragetech, and of course our SAP Business One Tech Tips, a growing library of videos and blogs explaining how to make the most of your SAP Business One deployment. And then of course from our experts at Leverage Technologies, people like our CEO Brett Mundell, our consultants, even myself, Richard Duffy, we have put together a number of these blogs which you can access on the Leverage Technologies SAP Business One blogs page. So I think that's pretty much it. Now, one of the things that people often like to ask, and I'm just going to finish off with this because right now you're potentially watching this presentation and going, okay, well, what does all this mean if I make a decision to go and work with Leverage Technologies? Well, who is this organization? So Leverage Technologies was started in 2004. We now have 30 plus employees located in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane. We have hundreds of customers in more than 8 countries around the world. And we are one of the leading SAP Business One partners in Australia. Matter of fact, we're one of the few who have achieved what's called SAP Gold Partner status, which is a recognition from SAP of our ability to support you effectively as a customer with SAP Business One. If you are thinking, well, who is SAP? Well, here's some quick facts about SAP. I think SAP wouldn't be very happy if I didn't tell you a little bit about them as we get to the end of our presentation. Again, founded in 1972, 75,000 employees right around the world, serving 296,000 customers in 190 countries. And more than 80% of those SAP customers are small and mid-sized enterprises just like you. And SAP is an enterprise application software market leader in applications, analytics, and mobility. And with SAP HANA, actually the fastest growing database vendor with a broad portfolio of modular and suite solutions, of which SAP Business One is one of those. So, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's presentation. I hope it's been valuable for you. What do you do next? Well, it's pretty easy. You pick up the phone and you call one of our Leverage Technologies team on 1300 045 046, or visit the Leverage website at leveragebusinessone.com.au, click on the chat functionality. We'd love to talk with you. Or visit our pages on the web And if you'd like us to get in contact with you, there's a number of different forms there, resources you can download, and forms you can fill out, which will send a message through to myself, Brett Mundell, our CEO, other folks in our customer services team, letting us know that you'd like to talk to one of us. And we'd be more than happy to talk with you. So with that said, again, thank you. Have a great day, and we look forward to helping you improve your business operations, drive your success, and grow profitably with SAP Business One.